Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Florensic, and in this video, I'm going to do a little bit of a story time, alright? I'm going to tell you guys about the time that I almost got caught while exploring a haunted house. This story starts back in my senior year of high school. I worked a job at Dairy Queen. And I'm gonna be honest, it was a blast. I mean, you wouldn't expect like a fast food job to be fun, but this one was because I worked with all my friends, and I ended up becoming friends with everyone who worked there. And I got one of my good friends named Jacob to work at Dairy Queen with me, and as we were working there, a lot of the time we would have these closing shifts. In fact, it was almost every shift that was closing. And when we'd close, we'd be, out working until midnight, 1 in the morning, sometimes 2 in the morning if it's a really bad close. And so we would actually kind of take advantage of this, and after closing, we'd always do something afterwards. A lot of the time, we would do stuff like, explore stuff. We would, go eat places, hang out with friends, just a lot of different stuff. And I had the idea to go and explore a haunted house. The only dilemma I had is I didn't know of any haunted houses. Well, one of my someone that I knew from class, they told me about a haunted house they went and explored at a state park nearby me, and so I decided to take them up on the information, I guess. I asked them more about it, and they told me where it was, and that's about all I needed to know. And I decided, next time I close, I'm going to go explore this place with Jacob. So that's exactly what we do. After our close, pretty late in the night, I think we got out pretty fast that night, about 11 o'clock p.m. We decided to hop in his car, we drive straight to the place, and the first time we go there, we just decide, we settle on just exploring the perimeter. Mostly because there wasn't really an easy way in. There were a bunch of boards nailed to all the entrances and exits. Any way you could feasibly get in seemed to be boarded up, so we just settled on going around the perimeter and listening, mostly just using our ears, and we kind of came across a few odd instances. For example, we both thought we heard feminine whispers or voices inside the house, very faint though, and we also both heard a loud screech come from behind us in the trees. And so, after we heard that screech, my reaction when I heard this, so we just had gone around the whole perimeter of the house, and we were coming around back to the front, and as we're walking to go back to the main front door area to screw around a little bit more, all of a sudden, both of us, we hear the screech come from the trees behind us, and it sounds like it could have been a bird, but at the same time, it sounded like it could have been from a person. It was in the gray area of humanoid or not, and so me and Jacob, I froze for a while after that, and after hearing it and after getting over my sudden freeze up in fear, I turn around, I shine the light on the tree where we heard it, and we couldn't find a thing, dude. We looked around, nothing there. So we kept looking, we kept exploring a little bit more. I think we started knocking on the door and stuff to try to hear anything. I think Jacob was calling the ghost like a pussy, or I don't know. Probably not the smartest thing to do. we were kind of just goofing off, screwing around for a good amount of it. And anyways, we we had a good amount of fun the first time we went there, and we both had to go back. So we wrapped it up, headed back, planning to go again, and so we do exactly that. Another night after close, we go back to the same place. This time, our goal is to find a way in and potentially even go inside the house. However, we didn't have time to do that night, and we did find a way in, and nothing paranormal, nothing extraordinary happened that night. And so we just found the way in. We packed up, wrapped it up, went back. We decided the third time we went to this state park, for the haunted house. We had planned it out with other people at work, so that other people at work would go with us. More fun, more people, and I had made the mistake in inviting the most. How do I explain? I invited the most likely to snitch guy that worked there, and he ended up joking about how he was going to snitch on us, and he claims he was joking. At least I'm not sure what to think about it currently to this day, but he claimed that he was joking, and he basically joked about snitching on us and getting us in trouble. He said it'd be funny if he just called the cops on us right now. And me and Jacob both still decided to have plans still set anyways, and we come to find out a lot of the people that we invited weren't able to go. Not a lot of people are free to do stuff at 1 or 2 in the morning, so that was a no-go for a lot of the people we invited. So it just ended up being me and Jacob going, and so we pull up to the house this time, or no, sorry, we're on our way to the house, and we see these police lights, the big red and blue, shining or flashing out in the park. And I remember I told Jacob, I was like, alright dude, turn off your headlights so they can't see us, even though we had tail lights, red, but it's better than nothing, better than leaving them on. So we turn off the headlights, and we just turn around and GTFO basically. We're not gonna mess around if law enforcement's involved. And so after that, we kind of, we were both pretty tilted at the kid who we thought snitched on us at the time. Jacob's dad actually called him and said that the cops, basically we found out that the cops were there and they had caught him being there, Jacob's dad being there, because Jacob's dad was going to go there ahead of time with Jacob's sister, and they were both going to scare us at the house, kind of like as a joke. And of course we didn't know this, and so we thought that the cops were just waiting for us, but it turned out that they had already caught Jacob's dad. So we kind of got out of this scot-free. And since Jacob's dad was an adult and wasn't just like a teenager, because he just seemed a lot more credible, I guess, to the cops. Yeah, a lot more, just a lot more, I guess the cops would see him as more responsible. Just an adult, it's usually, at least I feel that cops will usually be more lenient to adults versus teenage kids. Anyways, about a month later, we decided to go again, and I made sure actually to not tell the same person, because this snitch kid is gonna snitch on us again, and even if he doesn't, it's just not a good idea to tell him. So we made our way out to the house, and it was just me and Jacob again. I don't even know if we invited people, and if we did, they probably couldn't have come again, because people got stuff going on like sleep at 1 or 2 in the morning. When we went to the state park for last time, we had learned our lesson about taking a car all the way through it. So we parked the car on the other side of the road from the state park. We crossed the road. We walked in through the park by foot, obviously, and we made our way up into the house, the haunted house, which is about a 1 mile walk, by the way. And we had to walk down this dirt road to get there and everything. The walk was pretty eerie in itself, just because there was dead at the park, nothing going on, and just every once in a while, every blue moon, there was like a fluorescent light on the side of the road to light up the roadways. So it was a pretty spooky experience just walking there. And so we finally get to the haunted house, or I guess, yeah, supposedly haunted house. I'm not even sure if it's really haunted to this day. I mean, some paranormal things happen, but I don't know. When we got inside, it wasn't anything super spooky. We just went around the back to that entrance that we had before. We went in through. Once we got inside, we kind of had to crawl through this. We kind of had to crawl into the basement. So there's kind of like a basement where we went in with graffiti on the wall, with like some like clan tags or whatever, or fake gangs, and some stuff on the wall. It said something like Death Hole or Death, or I don't remember the specifics, but we climbed in. We went in underneath the floorboards, kind of in like a crawl space area, and this is a pretty old and worn down property, and so we were able to go in through the bottom of the floorboards into the house. And let me make something clear: this is an abandoned house, right? We're not going into like property that people actually live on, all right? That's a little bit too far there, but we come up through the floorboards, and we're finally on the main floor level of the house. And I've got some footage of it. It was actually really cool. It was actually really fun to explore it, paranormal or non-paranormal. And I remember the atmosphere of the house was really heavy. Like the air was really dense and hot, humid, and it felt stuffy, really stuffy in the house. Like, you know, there wasn't airflow, obviously, because it was boarded off, and all four walls, all sides of the house with a roof, you know how it goes. And so we just kind of wandered around the house a little bit. It was cool to see some really old stuff, and a lot of stuff we didn't even know what it once was, and it was a really cool experience. Again, paranormal or not paranormal. And on our way out, actually, we got mega jump scared by either a bird or a bat. Holy shit. Let's keep going. Just get out of here. I don't want to get bit by no bats. It started like chirping and flapping around, and it was just unexpected. And I thought worst case scenario it was a bat, and I didn't want to get no rabies from getting bit by a bat. So at first I froze with fear because I didn't know what it was, and it caught me off guard. I just kind of stood there motionless for a good like 3 seconds. I looked like a garden gnome, and then I made my way out. I just instantly came to the rational solution of just hurrying up and walking out of the house. And that's what I ended up doing. I walked out of the house, and we exited. We went through the basement again and climbed out. And I kind of like hoisted Jacob up and used the light so he could see what he was doing when he was getting out. And then it was my turn to get out, and it was kind of like a wall that you have to climb over to get out. And so I didn't have a light, and there's like a pipe you have to step on to boost yourself out of there at the same time, and there's just a lot that you have to use your eyes to be able to get out. So, it's pretty justifiable to use a light to get over the wall. And I think I may have attracted a little bit of attention using my light to get over that wall, because when I got over that wall and we started walking around the corner, we instantly see just a truck just pull up right in front of the house right as we were about to turn the corner. This truck, from what we assumed was the property owner or someone managing the property, or at least guarding it. The truck pulls up and parks kind of in front of the house, and it just stays on, and it's just sitting there in front of the house and idle. And after waiting there for a good minute or two, me and Jacob instantly came to the conclusion that this guy was parked in front of the house with suspicion that we were there, and was probably calling the cops right now, and was going to wait for the cops to arrive so that he could get us caught, obviously trespassing on this property. And me and Jacob weren't going to have any of that. So what we decided to do was go out to the back of the house, back of the property, and we were going to walk through the overbrush, the bushes, which were about nipple height. They were pretty tall, and so they gave a good amount of cover. However, they were also problematic because, ticks, no one wants any ticks on them. So I remember when I got home, I actually made sure to check myself for ticks, but we walked through the overbrush to go over onto a separate dirt road that we hadn't used to get there, and would have actually taken us deeper into the park, but we thought deeper into the park was better than caught, so we took that road and we started walking down it, we went into the brush, started walking through the brush to get to the road, and the truck instantly turns the corner and starts going down the dirt road, the exact dirt road that we were gonna walk down. And so we instantly had to double back, and we went back to the front of the house, and we just hauled ass. We sprinted down the road that we came as fast as we could, GTFO mode. We were out of there, and after we got to the cement, to the actual park, the actual state park, once we got on the cement roads and we were off his property and everything, we felt a little bit more safe, but not quite. Things still didn't feel very right. And so I just, I kept walking. We were on the final stretch, and I still felt the feeling that I should walk more to the edge of the road, so just in case there was a car coming, we could dive into the bushes a little bit faster. And man, am I glad that I did that, because next thing I know, I see Jacob, and he's sprinting into the woods. I probably react in a quarter of a second. I react probably the instant he starts running, and in a quarter of a second, I am already in the trees, on my stomach, head on the ground, full hands on deck, I don't know, what's it called? I hit the deck, basically, alright? I hit the deck. I was on the ground, hiding from this truck that was coming down the road, barreling at a whopping 40 miles an hour, and this was a 25-mile-an-hour road. And it was the same truck that we had seen prior when we were at the actual house. So we made the executive decision to continue to cut through the overbrush instead of using the main road, which, looking back at it, was kind of a stupid decision, because it ended up taking us another 15 minutes longer trying to get over these stupid ass fences that were in our way. So it ended up taking a good amount of time to get out of the park. I think it took us like an hour in total to get out of the park in general. And once we got to his car, I remember on our way to his car, we were still like worried about, like police officers being at his car or something. Even though it's not super likely, we still had that in the back of our mind. Like, what if he had a parking ticket or police cars at his car? God forbid the truck that we saw itself being at the car, And so we just made sure to. Luckily, nothing was there, so we were fine. But we were very cautious, even approaching the car. And like I said, we were there. It took us an hour at least to get out of that park, when it only took us like 10-15 minutes to walk there. So it was a considerable amount of time added for us to get out of there. It literally felt like we were just trapped in hell. It seemed like every odd was against us, really, except for like a few lucky exceptions. Some of them being like, the timing the truck pulled up on us. If we had been in front of the house when the truck pulled up, we would have been, that would have been GG right then and there. We would have been done for. And another lucky thing is that we were never seen, or at least if we were never caught. And I think the biggest piece of luck was that the law enforcement cops, they were not involved at all. We never had to run away from the red and blue, we just had to run away from that guy in the truck. And so either he knew we were there and was trying to scare us off, or he was just simply suspicious of someone being there and was driving around the property to try to find anything. Really, it doesn't matter at this point. We got out and we were fine. But if you guys like this video, make sure to tell me what you like in the comments. Also, feel free, if there's anything you think I could improve on in my videos, or if there's anything you'd like me to do in future videos, you can let me know in the comments. I make sure to read them when I do get them. And if you like what I do here on this channel, feel free to subscribe. And that's going to be it for this video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.